Just ahead on CTV News, a second assassination attempt on former President Trump. Plus, the county school system welcomes a new integrity and compliance officer.
The Office of Integrity and Compliance, is set up to maintain public trust and ensuring effective operation of the educational system that we have here in Prince George's County.
And Simon Buggs has our Monday sports page. These stories and more on CTV News starting now.
Good evening. This is CTV News for September 16th. I'm Mariah Jalad.
And I'm Michaela Newton. Thanks so much for joining us. Our top story tonight, the man accused of the second apparent assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump's life faces federal firearm charges. Now, the gunman has been identified as 58-year-old Ryan Wesley Routh. He has been charged with 2 firearm offenses and, if convicted, could face a maximum of 20 years in prison. Now, this all stems from an incident at Trump's private golf club in Florida yesterday. Reports indicate that U.S. Secretary Service agents noticed the muzzle of an AK-style rifle through the shrubbery near the course. An agent shot at Routh, who then dropped his weapon and fled the scene, but was ultimately arrested. CTV News spoke to Maryland Congressman Glenn Ivey about the incident.
Certainly disturbing to see that you had a second attempt just about 9 weeks after the first one. It's good that it ended better this time, the way the Secret Service was able to preempt any kind of assault and nobody was injured. But it's still, you got to wonder what's going on from the standpoint of, does the Secret Service need additional resources and the like? I think that they do.
Now, Ivey is a part of the House panel investigating the first assassination attempt on Trump's life.
Well, Maryland once again avoided projected budget deficits for fiscal year 2024, ending the period with a nearly $500 million surplus. State Comptroller Brooke Learman says the state benefited from a record amount of interest income and stronger than expected revenue growth. The surplus is considered modest compared to the multi-billion surpluses the state had for fiscal years 2022 and 2021, when COVID relief funding boosted incomes and increased consumer spending. And Prince George's County Council has introduced the school system's new integrity and compliance officer. Frank Turner will lead the office, and he will be housed in the Wayne K. Curry Administration Building. His role will be similar to that of an inspector general for PGCPS. Turner and his team of investigators will investigate waste, fraud, and abuse. The office will also have the authority to issue subpoenas.
We're looking to and change the code of conduct in the school system to include our office as the first place to go to report especially high-level waste, fraud, and abuse. We are, I'm trying to build a relationship with the school system and the school board to make sure that we get that in place. Also in changing some of the administrative procedures in the school system because, the system hasn't had this. So we're trying to work through getting this office set up and publicized in the school system.
This office will serve as a critical watchdog, investigating allegations of waste, fraud, and abuse, independent of the school board, independent of the superintendent, and the school system itself. It will be truly independent.
The school system's Office of Integrity and Compliance was created by legislation sponsored by State Senator Alonzo Washington.
Well, regional election officials gather ahead of the November 5th election. According to reports, board members from the Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments met in the district last week. The topic on the table was the upcoming 2024 general election. Now, the participants agree in making sure that the early voting period, mail-in voting, and election day voting is secure and safe for voters. Reports also indicate that election leaders are concerned about potential voter fraud from Russia and China. Well, in an already historic election cycle, more history could be made in the United States Senate. Now, the number of black women in the Senate could double if U.S. Representative Lisa Blunt Rochester of Delaware and Prince George's County Executive Angela Alsobrooks win their respective races in November. Now, only 2 black women have ever served in the Senate, and 12 black people have served as senators in total. The second black woman to serve in the Senate, LaFonza Butler of California, is stepping down in January.
An 18-year-old boy was found not guilty in the shooting death of 16-year-old Jada Medrano Moore last Friday. Abdurrahman Diaby was acquitted of first-degree murder, but found guilty on first-degree assault, possession of a firearm under 21, reckless endangerment, and using a firearm in commission of a violent crime. Medrano Moore was fatally shot on her walk home from Duval High School on September 11, 2023. Witnesses said she was trying to defend her brother and take the gun from Diaby when she was shot. Diaby faces up to 55 years in prison for the charges. His sentencing will be later this year. And 3 other suspects were charged in this case. The state's attorney's office says it will pursue murder charges when their trials begin later this year.
Well, Prince George's police are investigating a deadly shooting in Silver Spring over the weekend. Officers arrived at the 9200 block of New Hampshire Avenue at 4:05 p.m. on Saturday. They found 35-year-old Carlos Ortiz in a wooded area suffering from gunshot wounds. He was later pronounced dead on the scene, and a $25,000 reward is being offered to anyone with information leading to an arrest.
Well, 2 leaders of the Maryland State Conference of the NAACP are suspended following concerns about how the leadership was spending state funds. In a letter obtained by the Baltimore Sun, members complained that President Kobe Little and Treasurer Joshua Harris, among other leadership, were spending conference funds without approval and without reporting it. The letter accused the now suspended leaders of displaying bullying behavior and leading the organization as a, quote, dictatorship. Little and Harris will now face an investigation and full hearing.
A tropical storm that has made landfall in the Carolinas is expected to bring much-needed rainfall in the area. Only 5 Maryland districts are under regular moisture conditions as this dry summer has brought drought to most of the state. Heavy rainfall, minor coastal flooding, and gusty winds are expected to hit the state as early as tonight, and the rainfall is expected to move further inland tomorrow. Now, in this area specifically, we are expected to see storm impact starting Wednesday. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Michaela Newton.
And I'm Mariah Gillad. Still to come, a center at the University of Maryland is celebrating its 1-year anniversary.
Find out how they're helping small businesses throughout the state and which Maryland senator received an award. We'll be right back.
The message that we're really trying to reinforce to parents is any app, any social media, any game that has a communication feature where someone from the outside world can communicate with a child, there's a vulnerability in that app. So you cannot rely on the app or the technology to protect your kid, that you are going to have to be the one that does the research. You've got to get involved. You've got to make sure that things are appropriate and that their friends lists are checked, the people they're playing games with are checked.
And again, taking off the metadata, the geolocation information when you take a picture, so that that information cannot be used to further exploit or to exploit the child.
We don't want to be the boogeyman. We're not trying to say that it's doom and gloom everywhere, but the fact of the matter is that there's really no technology that is 1000% safe for kids.
I have one.
I'd be so lost without mine.
We are talking about mentors, right?
Yes, a mentor can guide you,
support you, and unlock your potential.
Being a mentor can be just as life-changing.
You can create opportunities
and inspire the next generation.
Helping someone find their path can transform your own.
So find a mentor or become one.
Can I do both?
Let me ask my mentors. Of course you can.
Bring someone along on your journey and see where it takes you.
The more you know.
Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. The University of Maryland Business Opportunity Center celebrated their 1-year anniversary today. The program received $4.5 million in direct federal funding to assist small minority-owned businesses in the state of Maryland. Now, Senator Chris Van Hollen was at the event today to highlight the achievements of this program in its inaugural year. And he also received an award himself for his role in supporting the initiative.
Without this program, it would have been very difficult for them to get their small businesses off the ground. And so this is an opportunity to listen to people and hear how the funding that Senator Cardin and I secured at the federal level is actually translating into changing people's lives for the better.
As an immigrant and young entrepreneur, starting a business can be challenging. I moved to Maryland in June of 2023 and decided to launch my business. Initially, I faced some difficulties until I discovered the resources available through our inbox. As a result, I'm proud to say that my business has achieved a remarkable 500% increase in sales.
MBOC is reporting that the 24 businesses they assisted in the first year has a collective growth of $2.8 million in revenue increase.
Meantime, a group of Montgomery County parents have filed a petition for the Supreme Court to review the use of LGBTQ books in lower elementary schools. The petition claims the school system is refusing to let parents opt their children out of classes using these books, claiming that it imposes on their religious liberty rights. This comes 2 years after the school system announced the use of 7 LGBTQ inclusive books that were available for teachers to use in lower grade classrooms for the 2022-2023 school year. The books are not mandatory reading. Opt-outs were no longer allowed for parents starting last school year. And medical waste washing up on shore has closed beaches in Maryland, Virginia, and Delaware. They include beaches in Ocean City and Assateague Island, along with Dewey Beach and Fenwick Island. Officials made the decision to close the beaches to swimming after used hypodermic needles and discarded feminine hygiene products washed ashore yesterday morning. They are recommending that people wear shoes while on the beach and avoid the ocean entirely. It's not known how long the closures will be in effect.
Well, a federal trial challenging the U.S. Naval Academy's use of race in admissions kicked off this morning in downtown Baltimore. This case, brought by Students for Fair Admissions, argues that the Academy's practices unfairly discriminate against white and Asian applicants. The same group previously led the successful Supreme Court cases in 2023 against Harvard and UNC that changed how colleges handle race in admissions.
And Governor Moore announced today that July marked the second consecutive month of record-breaking traffic at BWI Thurgood Marshall Airport. The airport saw more than 2.5 million passengers traveling through, surpassing the previous record set this past June. Governor Moore said in a statement, this new milestone highlights Maryland's growing position as a major attraction for travel, tourism, and commerce.
Well, take a listen to this. Before they're granted citizenship, immigrants must pass a test on U.S. history and civics knowledge. According to U.S. Citizenship and Naturalization Services, about 88% of them pass the citizenship test on the first try and 97% pass it on a re-exam. So can you pass the same test? Various surveys have suggested only about a third of Americans could. Now, one done by the Annenberg Public Policy Center at the University of Pennsylvania showed 1 in 6 Americans could not name any of the 3 branches of government, and only 1 in 20 could name all 5 freedoms protected by the First Amendment. And so to come on CTV News, a local student creates a website to help out the foodies.
We have details on the site and how the idea came about after the break.
I'm a different kind of threat. I can't be scared away or negotiated with. You can't call the cops on me.
Do you still want to hang out after?
I don't want your money or your TV. I don't even have to break in. I'm invited.
The bravest person I know is definitely my dad, 100%.
My friend Sean.
My daughter Cynthia.
and she was in the United States Army.
One of the bravest things he ever did wasn't when he first enlisted, it was when he found his first support group.
Our journey has not been easy.
One of the bravest things he did was when he asked to move in with me and my mom.
I felt like I was lost, and you gave me a place to stay.
When he decided he was going to go back to school after 23 years.
It was the better part of my life that I spent in the Marine Corps. Transitioning out, it's a difficult thing.
She went on foreign soil. She went to war. But the bravest thing she did is when she asked for help.
So I really appreciate it.
Well, a former Pentagon employee accused of abusing dogs for years pleads guilty. 63-year-old Frederick Moorfield Jr. was investigated after a report of 2 dead dogs found in a plastic dog food bag along with his mail back in 2018. Court documents show that Moorfield had been keeping and training dogs for fighting purposes at his Maryland home for 20 years. Moorfield pleaded guilty to conspiracy to engage in animal fighting and interstate travel in aid of racketeering. He faces up to 5 years in prison.
University of Maryland students can now get alerts for their favorite dining hall foods. One sophomore at the university launched a website that is making an impact on campus foodies.
If I wanted to search for my favorite food, orange chicken, I can type in orange chicken. There we go, orange tempura chicken. Click on it. Sorry, no dining halls have orange chicken today, so unfortunately, I cannot eat my favorite food today. Hopefully they have it tomorrow.
At the University of Maryland, a new tool is making waves in the dining halls. It's called Terp Alert, and it's the brainchild of sophomore Thomas Heidema.
Well, I came up with the idea of getting an alert on my phone when the dining halls had orange chicken, because it wasn't very often. We were kind of left guessing when the dining halls are going to have our favorite foods.
Thomas came up with the idea during his freshman year. Terp Alert allows students to search for specific foods available in different dining halls, making it easier to find exactly what they're craving. Thomas says he started the project because he saw a need for better transparency about what's being served and wanted to help his fellow students make more informed dining choices. And it seems to be making a difference.
We're already at 250 users, which is crazy to me. I would never have thought that many people would be using it.
Looking ahead, Thomas hopes to expand Terp Alert to include even more features like nutritional information and filters.
I thought a feature that'd be really cool is adding reviews for foods. I would think it'd be great for foods too. It would help students figure out which foods they should try that are new. They can gossip about their foods that they hate with each other, and maybe even have a platform for people to suggest new foods to the UMD dining halls.
But for now, Thomas is focused on helping students make the most of their dining hall experience and ensuring everyone knows about the best food options available. Definitely wish something like that was available when I was back in school. Now to our Money Matters segment. Rockville-based natural and organic grocery store chain Mom's Organic Market will open its new doors downtown Silver Spring location this Friday. Mom says that this will be the only grocery store in the country to offer 100% sustainable seafood. The store will also have a recycling program where customers can recycle cell phones, compost, eyeglasses, denim, and even holiday lights. And shoppers can find the new Mom's Organic Market at 8789 Georgia Avenue. It will open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m.
And good news for Bank of America employees. The company has raised their minimum hourly wage to $24, increasing the starting salary to nearly $50,000 a year. The increase will apply to both full-time and part-time positions. Bank of America's Chief Human Resources Officer Sherry Bronstein states providing a competitive minimum wage is core to being a great place to work. The company has committed to raising their wage to $25 by 2025. There are 82 Bank of America locations in Maryland. And social media platform TikTok is in federal court today, going up against the U.S. government's imminent ban against the app. This year, President Joe Biden signed a law that forces TikTok to break ties with its China-based parent company, ByteDance, or face a complete ban in the United States by mid-January. The U.S. government sees the app as a national security threat due to its connections with China. TikTok argues the law violates the First Amendment rights of its users. This case is likely to make it all the way up to the Supreme Court.
Well, eyes will be on Fed Chairman Jerome Powell this week as the Federal Reserve is expected to cut its key interest rate. And this move is expected to be the first in a series of cuts aimed at making borrowing more affordable. Now, typically a succession of Fed rates cut leads to lower borrowing costs for things like mortgages, auto loans, credit cards, and business loans. The benchmark rate now stands at 5.3%. Just last month, Powell said the Federal Reserve is prepared to cut rates to support the job market and to achieve a soft landing as it attempts to curb inflation without triggering a recession.
And some good news for drivers. Gas prices are down and they could potentially stay down. According to reports, the low gas prices that we are currently experiencing at the pump are expected to stay low through the autumn months. According to AAA, the national average of gas is about $3.20. However, here in Maryland, the average cost of gas is $3.08. Gas prices in Prince George's are about $3.11, while in neighboring Montgomery County, it's 12 cents higher.
Because to me, they're not low. I mean, $2.99, $3. I mean, look at the cost of groceries, you know. If one goes up, the other one goes down, where you safe?
It make me feel so good, so great, and better that you could pay a low price than a high price. Because it's rough times out here for everybody.
Gas prices as a consumer right now, it'll probably last me an extra day. When I fill up, extra day or two. That's probably about it.
And still to come on CTV News, Simon Buggs is here with our Monday Sports page.
That's right. He has some football highlights from the Bowie Bulldogs all the way to the Commanders. What's going on, Simon?
That's right, guys. I've got some great highlights from my alma mater. I can't wait for you guys to see it. Stay right there, sports fans. We'll be right back.
Let's get you, honey.
Hey Sophia, it's Sophia. Talking to you from one Sophia to another because volunteering in America is at an all-time low. So I'm calling on all the Sophias to do something about it. We can do so much, like coach youth sports to teach kids about teamwork or clean up parks to beautify our communities. I mean, we're Sophias. Of course we can make a difference. All you have to do is find a local need, volunteer, and call others out. We got this, Sophia. Sophia on 3. 1, 2, 3. Sophia!
What's up, sports fans? Grab a seat because it's time for your Monday Sports Page. We begin with some highlights from the world of college football. Bulldog Nation showed up and showed out this past Saturday as the Bowie State football team took the field against Davenport University in their home opener. Now the Bulldogs did go scoreless to begin the game, and in the second quarter the Panthers began to build a lead as the Bulldogs were down 10-0 at one point. But later on in the quarter, this awesome 40-yard punt return from wide receiver Austin Waller put the Bulldogs in good field position. And Waller's awesome play continued as he caught an 8-yard pass soon after to give the team their first touchdown of the afternoon. The Panthers did wind up scoring again, and Bowie went into halftime down 17-7. The Bulldogs shut out the Panthers in the third as they didn't score a single point thanks to plays like this tackle for loss on second down by linebacker Sadiq Salawu. And this other bone-crushing TFL by DB Jordan Williams, hitting the Panthers player so hard his helmet fell off. And in the fourth quarter, the Bulldogs offense started off strong and was able to close the gap and scored their second touchdown of the afternoon as QB Kevin Taylor connected on a 30-yard pass to receiver Antoine Banks. But that will be all the points the Bulldogs scored in the fourth as they fell to the Panthers 17-14. The Bulldogs will take the field next against Livingstone College on Saturday. Hopefully they get the win. Meanwhile, it's Victory Monday Commanders fans as the team took down the New York Giants yesterday 21-18. Not only is it Washington's first division win of the year, but it's also the team's first overall win of the season. And some players from the team touched on how much yesterday's victory meant to the team.
It's big for everyone. You know, we're in a situation where we have so many new parts to this organization. So for us to come together and be in a dogfight like that in a division game and get our first win at home is pretty special.
It's going to be big for us. Just like I said, division games, man, they mean the most, man. And to get one out the way early, it means a lot to us. So we got a big game coming up next week. So we're going to go look at the film, look at the tape, see what we need to correct, and move on from it. And just try to get them boys next week.
You know, the guys just spined in throughout the whole week, and bringing it together, man. It was happy to see, and finishing that kick through the goalpost, man, was all icing on the cake.
Washington's next opponent will be the Cincinnati Bengals on September 23rd. Now to the WNBA, the Washington Mystics fell to the Atlanta Dream yesterday in a close game, 76-73. The Mystics will try to bounce back when they face off against the New York Liberty tomorrow at 7 o'clock. And finally, the Washington Nationals close out their series versus the Miami Marlins yesterday with a win, beating them 4-3. The Nats will be in the Big Apple next for their series against the New York Mets, which begins tonight at 7:10.
So, Simon, after that Commanders win on Sunday, are you feeling a little bit more optimistic for the season? I mean, even though no touchdowns, only field goals.
Yeah, only field goals. The offense still has some work to do, I feel like. I know it's early in the season. It's only week 2. We're still trying to figure some stuff out. But hopefully we can get things a little bit better for Sunday night against the Bengals. I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do, guys.
All right, me too. I'm looking forward to it.
Give them a chance.
Yeah.
Now let's get a look at our 3-day weather forecast. Tonight we do have a 30% chance of showers.
Tomorrow we'll have a 60% chance of rain with a high of 76. Wednesday, more rain is on the way. We'll have a high of 76 and low of 66. Thursday, that rain should be wrapping up and we'll have a high of 78.
And now for a look at our community calendar. Tuesday afternoon, the South Bowie Branch Library will be hosting What's in a Curl? Understanding Your Own Hair, presented by Beware Cosmetology.
Teens ages 13 through 18 are invited to gain essential education on curly hair techniques while refining their styling skills through hands-on practice with mannequin heads. And this event takes place from 6 to 7 p.m. But for more information, make sure you contact 240-455-5451.
And that wraps up CTV News for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you again tomorrow.
Good night, everybody.
I have one.
I'd be so lost without mine.
We're talking about mentors, right?
Yes, a mentor can guide you,
support you,
and unlock your potential.
Being a mentor can be just as life-changing.
You can create opportunities
and inspire the next generation.
Helping someone find their path can transform yours.
So find a mentor
or become one.
Wait, Can I do both?
Let me ask my mentor.
Of course you can.
Bring someone along on your journey and see where it takes you.
The more you know.